Kylian Mbappe expects the PSG president to start negotiations with Real Madrid to get him his summer move to the Santiago Bernabeu. The arrival of Lionel Messi has done nothing to change Kylian Mbappe's mind about remaining and staying for another season inside the French capital. Of course, he has the world at his feet. He's one of the most talented young players on the planet. The arrival of Lionel Messi was meant to be the trigger to try and keep him at the club and potentially sign a new deal. That new deal has been rejected, as has been the case for the majority of the last 6 months. The noise is he wants to leave. Kylian Mbappe would like Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain to start negotiations now about a summer move in 2021, as opposed to allowing him to leave for free in a year's time. A big decision is now going to have to be made by Paris Saint-Germain as to whether or not they bite the bullet and sell now, or just allow him to leave on a free transfer in 12 months' time. The arrival of Lionel Messi, of course, will take the pressure away from PSG. The necessity to keep him is obviously a little bit less than it was. It was highly likely that he was going to leave at some point in the next 2 to 3 years anyway. Nobody imagined that Kylian Mbappe would remain in Paris for the remainder of his career. The deal is certainly on. The deal is certainly open, but by no means advanced at this stage. Contact between the two clubs has yet to take place. But as we see the drawing to a close of some big deals of players such as Raphael Varane and Lukaku, of course, Erling Haaland, we know now, is staying at Borussia Dortmund. Could this deal for Kylian Mbappe now set the transfer market into a frenzy once more? Has allowing the likes of Sergio Ramos and Raphael Varane to leave given Real Madrid the financial clout to land this deal and get it done and over the line for Carlo Ancelotti this summer? With Barcelona seemingly in trouble, a signing of a player such as Kylian Mbappe would almost guarantee La Liga returns to the Santiago Bernabeu this season. I do want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this. Make sure you smash that like button right now, people. Let's get this stream past the 500 like marks as a minimum today. Support the Football Terrace in our endeavours. We're also talking Martin Odegaard and his move to Arsenal getting closer. There has clearly been big, heavy negotiations between the two clubs, and it's an advanced stage. An official bid is waiting. Real Madrid haven't made their minds up yet what they're doing with the player. Arsenal are waiting for the green light to submit the official bid. Could Kylian Mbappe be a part of the thinking as well, freeing up squad space, freeing up wages, raising some income to go towards the signing of the player as well? And staying with Arsenal, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is linked with a swap move, with Philippe Coutinho being involved to Barcelona. We're delving into that and much, much more. I'm sharing the link now for you to phone up and have your say, because you, remember, this is what we were saying in the show. It might be my stream, but it's your show. Hit that like button. Here we go, people. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Make sure you've smashed that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Get your super chats in as well. I knew you meant button, Monster. I knew you meant button. Thank you very much for that super chat, you wonderful, wonderful man. Some big transfer stories to delve into this afternoon and to bring you here live on the Football Terrace. We will be taking your calls. We will be bringing you any breaking news that transpires over the course of the next few hours. And I'm telling you now, Club Spin is on. Club Spin is on. Proper Club Spin is on. I'm telling you, I'm telling you now. And we can't wait to delve into it. We've got a brand new member sign up here from Jay. How you doing, Jay? Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for joining up and becoming a first team member of the Football Terrace. Hello, Maria Williams. I hope you are doing good. I hope you are well. I know you were watching on the beach yesterday. Where are you all watching from today? That's what I'd like to know. Where are you all watching the terrace from today? Let me know what you're thinking and you're feeling. And remember, Friday, we're launching Friday Night on the Terrace, the brand new studio-based show for us here. We've got some confirmed names. I'm not going to confirm the guests. We've got an ex-professional football player coming in for week 1. Almost once he confirms he'll be there, then I'll say what it's going to be. But the Winter Surfer, Chelsea fan's going to be there. Man like Neeks is going to be there. Adam Charles is going to be in the studio as well. We're going to have GunnerKing. There's a few of our legends and super fans that have said they want to come. I'm waiting for them to drop me a DM or a message via our WhatsApp group, just so that I can get your names booked down and put onto the list. It's going to be a brilliant show. Can't wait for that. Friday night, 6 p.m. The next stage of the Football Terrace takes off. So very, very excited about that indeed. Man's at Ascot, you know. Obviously, I mean, the race course. If you're watching from the race course, I'm really impressed. There we go. Maria Williams, more than welcome to come down if you want to be in London on that day. Absolutely. We've been talking about it for days. Jake here in Surrey. I'm in Surrey, bruv. Hey, there we go. So yes, the Kylian Mbappe news. I think that's the best place for us to start. I think we've got to start with Kylian Mbappe today. I thought he was going to stay this summer, and he still may. Let's get this out from the off. He might still stay. But according to a number of different reports today, including Marca and a few others, Kylian Mbappe has asked to meet with the PSG president and expects the president to negotiate a move for him away. He's rejected all contracts that have been offered to him so far and doesn't want to remain at the club any longer. I think what I'm reading between the lines here, I think what Kylian Mbappe is searching for is a resolution based on the fact that you can afford to get rid of me now. You can let me go at this point because you've got Messi now. You've got at this moment in time, you've got someone better than me who's come in. Like, you actually have a better footballer who's come in. You can now let me go. But it remains to be seen as to whether or not Paris Saint-Germain are going to let this happen this year. Do they need to recoup money? Probably not. Would Mbappe leaving give them enough funds to maybe go after Paul Pogba? I'm throwing these out there as potential suggestions. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see how this deal transpires, how it moves forward, what comes of this. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see how that all works and comes about. I'm very, very excited about it. We've got Philly here. Philly online, thank you for becoming a member of the Terrace as well. That means a great deal to me. He's joined as an Academy member. Top man. Martial to Madrid, Mbappe to United deal. Listen, I would take that. Not going to happen, though. Not going to happen at all. I wonder if Liverpool will come in for Mbappe, because their fans have been speaking about that for a long, long time, about being a legitimate deal. When is the Champions League draw? Normally early part of September, I think. We'll, of course, be live for that, so don't you worry about it. Afternoon tea at the Ritz. You're at the Ritz and you're watching me. I'm very, very privileged and honored that you've lied like that. You might be. You never know. You might be. Can you imagine that? I'm at the Ritz with the missus having afternoon tea, but Tezza's gone live on the terrace. So you just crack on with whatever you're doing. I'm going to sit here and have a cucumber sandwich and listen to Terry speak about football. Love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. I love some of these comments that come through here. But there we go. Anyway, enough about talking about that. I want to hear about Mbappe. What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with the Mbappe situation? I'm very intrigued to get your thoughts and your feelings on this afternoon. I truly, truly am. Duncan Castles always speaks about Mbappe to Liverpool. Well, maybe that's where Liverpool fans get it from. But I want your opinions here. Not about anybody else. Your opinions. Give me your opinions. Like, that's all I want to hear is your opinions on things. Not what you heard someone else say. Not what your mate thinks. Not what Fabrizio thinks. What do you think? What do you think is the situation here? What do you think is occurring? That's what I would like to know. We have some breaking news here for you, though, from The Athletic in relation to Arsenal. Let's go check out what they've said here. Arsenal Football Club have said that the Granit Xhaka's new deal is just them exercising an option on his existing contract to extend it. So, normally when someone goes into the last year with an option, they're essentially saying that is what they've done. They've extended the deal by the extra year until 2024, and the club now have a remaining option to take it to 2025. So, kind of making it look like it wasn't a new deal. They're kind of pushing out this notion now that they haven't given Granit Xhaka a new deal. What they've actually done is just exercise a right that they've already got within his deal to maintain the valuation in the player. And this could be true. This could be true. There's no doubt about it. It could be. But what do you think? Do you think this is the truth in relation to this deal? It wasn't what was being reported on. It wasn't what was being suggested. But according to The Athletic, it was just an exercise to extend the deal. What I find intriguing about this piece of news is it would have been fine just to have told people that from the start. We're not looking to extend these contracts. It's not a new deal. It's just, it isn't a new deal. It shouldn't be seen with signing a bit of paper. They've just exercised the right. So, yeah, I don't really understand it, to be honest. I don't even understand why it's news, because that means his contract was running to 2025 anyway. It was just Arsenal's option to extend it. If it is just their option to extend it, though, it's clever business by Arsenal. And it actually feeds more into what I said before this news came out. If they're not going to get his valuation, they're going to hold on to him and hope that they get more for him next year by extending that contract. It's always risky doing it because the player's valuation could drop. He could spend a year out injured. Maybe clubs find alternatives and suddenly there isn't anybody that wants to buy him. But it certainly appears that is what Arsenal are trying to do. But the risk comes in because they tried that with Lacazette a year ago. They should have sold him a year ago to Roma. They didn't. They thought they'd twist the stick rather than twist, and they've ended up losing out. Not massively, but they could end. Well, they have messed up here, Arsenal, because they could end up missing out on both Lautaro Martinez and Tammy Abraham, their number 1 and number 2 choices this summer. They could end up with Divock Origi, which really is. A lot of people didn't want Tammy. This guy's lower down the pecking order than him. Terry, but his wages are higher and he's quite poor. He also knows it means there's no replacement as a CM. Yeah, look, that was probably already part of the contract that if they extend it, the wages go up. What we haven't been privy to yet is the level of increase. What Arsenal will be weighing up in this is, okay, it might cost us an extra £1 million a year, say, in additional salary, but we believe we'll get a better price for him in a year's time. So as long as they get at least £2 million more for the sale price next year, they've made an additional £1 million. That's all they need. They need an additional, they need anything over £1 million above what they got offered this year for this deal to yield them an additional profit. If they end up with an extra £4 or £5 million, then it has been the right deal. But as ever, you only really know come the end. This is hindsight's going to tell us how good or bad this is. Terry, Origi and Tammy are too good for Arsenal, is what Sarim thinks. I don't know about that. I don't know about too good for Arsenal. We will see. We are going to take your calls very, very soon, but my nose won't stop itching today. It's really annoying me. Oh, an itchy nose for the majority of the day. It's really frustrating. I don't like having an itchy nose. But there we go. Let's do some more of your comments that are coming through here. Let's see what's being said. Come on, let's talk about none of you really spoke about the Mbappe deal, which I find very, very weird. With nearly 1,000 people watching, there's barely a comment about Mbappe. It actually makes my head hurt because that's what the main talking point today. So I've got nothing to chat to you about unless you ask me questions or give me your opinions. That's what you're meant to do. Help me. The Undertaker here says Arsenal can't sell their tickets for the Chelsea game on Sunday. Is that true? I didn't know that was the case. I remember, if you're going to tell me these things, I'd love a link. I'd love to know where you've read these things so I can have a little bit of a chat about them. Javier here says Mbappe will stay at Paris Saint-Germain. They are way better than Madrid. Yep. But he's pushing for the move, bruv. I don't want to sound disrespectful. If he stays, it's because I don't know how to say this. If he stays, it's because they couldn't strike a deal. He wants to leave. He wants to go to Real Madrid. And do you know what's interesting for La Liga? La Liga are going to push for this because they've just lost so many stars this summer. They're going to want to attract somebody in. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in this space. Ian says, ain't Real Madrid in the same situation as Barca? No, I mean, they've got rid of a lot of players, though. Barcelona have got rid of a fair few players to make this kind of transfer possible. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. I really wouldn't worry too much about that at all. There we go. There is some breaking news here as well that I want to bring to you in just a few short moments. Once we get this information available up on the screen, then we'll get it across to you as well. Lots going on today. It's interesting as well. The next day or so, the transfer market, I think, is really going to pick up massively here. I think it's really going to pick up massively. Let's bring this news to you in just a few short moments when I sort out what the hell I'm doing, because I'm struggling with my buttons here. Fabrizio Romano has said that Man City are preparing a new offer of 150 million euros and are willing to negotiate in any way possible to buy Harry Kane, who wants to play in the Champions League. Tottenham have no intention of negotiation and continue to resist. The will is to keep Kane at the club. That is an update there direct from Fabrizio Romano, who is stating and putting out there that he believes, through what he has been told, that Harry Kane is going to stay based on this. I'm still skeptical. When they say they're willing to negotiate, this is what stands out to me. Willing to negotiate in any way possible. So when I see willing to negotiate in any way possible, the first thing that springs to mind is, well, that means they're going to pay the asking price in. If you can negotiate any way possible, that means you're willing to do what's possible to sign a player. If you're willing to do what's possible to sign the player and you meet Spurs' requirements, they're going to sell him. That's what that means. Like, that's how I read it. Maybe I'm interpreting that wrong. Do you know what I mean? If I say 150 or no deal, we're going to offer you 130, but we're willing to negotiate to make it possible. All right, give me 150 then. Okay, it's done then. I'm sorry to laugh. Just sometimes the way I read things, I'm like, is my brain like working properly here? Or have I made some kind of?
I know he was in talks with West Ham.
Have I made some kind of mistake with this? I don't know. But there we go. It's Fab's words, not City. I know it's Fab's words, not City's words, or Tottenham's. But that's what I mean. When I read that tweet, that is what it says to me. But we will see what's going on in relation to that. So why say they are only offering 150 million euros? Well, I think when you actually look at the tweet and you actually break it down, that's the base offer. They're willing to negotiate up. There we go. Someone says interpreting it wrong. But okay, but what does that mean then? So if they're willing to negotiate in any way possible to buy Harry Kane, and we know that Tottenham have an upper limit that they would accept, that means they're prepared to pay what? I'm saying the wording is misleading, is what I'm saying there, because that doesn't make sense to me. Do you know what I mean? What would you sell me Harry Kane for? 160 million. I'm going to offer you 150, but I'm willing to pay 160. All right, let's get done then. I don't know, man. Honestly, I know it's pound. It's about 127 in pounds sterling. I do get that. I do understand the way that works. But there we go. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings, people, on what you think that means. Can you see this deal moving forward and going through? I'm very, very intrigued to know what's going on with you in relation to that one. We're going to go to some of our first calls of the day here. We're talking Mbappe to Real Madrid. Odegaard closing in on his Arsenal move. Aubameyang maybe leaving the Gunners. That, amongst other breaking news stories this afternoon. Make sure that like button has been smashed, ladies and gentlemen. First caller of the day. We're going to go to Glenn. Glenn's coming on the football terrace to have his say. You can do the same now. Glenn, welcome back to the terrace, mate. Who do you support?
I support Liverpool Football Club.
Lovely. What's on your mind, my friend? What do you want to say?
I just want to talk about Odegaard. I'm very happy to see him actually leave Madrid and actually get to Arsenal and get to a club with playing time.
Yeah. How come? Tell me why.
Would be great for the Norwegian national team, to be honest. I love to see every Norwegian succeed, even if it's at a club like Arsenal.
No, I do get that, and do you think he can be a success in the Premier League? Because he's never really got a run of games. He's never really settled anywhere, and he is starting to move towards those mid-20s now. Is it important for Odegaard now to go to a club and get 2 or 3 years consistent playing under his belt in one place?
Yeah, of course it is. I think that is what he should have done a few years ago when he actually got good playing time when he was on loan, and actually go out and get playing time at Real Sociedad. He should have just stayed at Sociedad and get the playing time and become the player he could have become. But then he went back to Madrid and he stagnated again. So it's very important for him.
Absolutely. As a fellow Norwegian, and you do sound a little bit like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Some of the words you say are making me trickle, making me laugh. What do you make of the disrespect from a lot of football fans towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the Premier League?
It's understandable. He hasn't shown he can do it on a top level yet. So we will see what happens, but I hope that he can do some good things, even though it's United. Win an FA Cup or something like that. Nothing more than that, because I'm a Liverpool fan. But
that must be a hard one when you see your fellow countrymen in the Premier League or managing here, but yet you support a different team. So I do understand that. Glenn, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. That's Glenn there from the LFC Transfer Watch. Next up, we're going to go to Lulu via Brooklyn. As a Gunnar, what you saying, buddy?
What's up, man? It's Lolo, actually. But
Lolo, sorry, I misread. Sorry, Lolo. Welcome to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I could talk Arsenal all day, or stop talking Arsenal. But you wanted to talk about Mbappe, and I would just my thoughts on Mbappe are he should definitely get out of PSG. He could go off to Real Madrid and kick off a new era for Real Madrid and be the main man. Right now, he's getting lost in the shuffle, and I feel like it's really hurting him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like I've said about Mbappe for a long time now, and I mean this with all due respect to him. I sort of feel like he needs to, for him to, no matter what he does in the Champions League, I think on a domestic level, you need to perform in the Champions League and in one of the top 4 leagues to get universal acceptance of your brilliance. If he spends the next 10 years in League R scoring 30 goals a season, I don't think he'll ever be looked at in the same way as Messi's and Ronaldo's and Lewandowski's that are around now. There's a lot of people hold Haaland to a higher regard based on what he's done in the Bundesliga as opposed to League R. So I think he needs the move for that particular reason. And it's just do you see PSG succumbing to those negotiations now that they've landed Messi?
I think they got to get as much money as they can for him, and try to recoup some money. So if there's an offer, I think they have to take it. Because really, where is he going to fit in? How are you going to fit all these stars and attitudes in on the pitch there at PSG? All right, I got to go. My daughter's back in the room. So
no worries.
Thank you so much for the time.
No, thank you very much indeed. Top man. Thank you. Listen, I understand where he's coming from there. I think maybe Mbappe will look at it now and say it's the best time for me to go. It's the best time for PSG. They were also very close to, they had to do a bit of work for a few days to make sure the Messi deal fit within FFP. This will definitely relieve a little bit of pressure there. Could it suddenly mean that the Paul Pogba deal is back on, though, with that money being saved and money being raised in the sale? Who knows? This could really change the complexity of things. Keenan here says his development has been stifled at PSG. He isn't the focal point, and the progression of play is really directly goes through him. At Madrid, he would be the focal point and can sharpen his skills. Yeah, I think he needs to make that move for so many reasons to Real Madrid. He truly does. For him and for I think for football in general, I want to see him in one of the top 3, top 4 leagues in Europe, week in, week out. We know how good he is. I know he's going to kill it. but I want that proof in the pudding. I want to see him do it at that level. That's the bit for me that's going to be key. Next on the show, we've got on the show later, we're going to have Leafs coming on. We're going to get Lionheart Fitness on the show. Next up, GunnerKing is going to be here with me. But make sure that like button has been smashed, ladies and gentlemen. GunnerKing on the show next. How you doing, mate?
What's going on? You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. Lots of reports today about Aubameyang leaving, Philippe Coutinho coming in, Odegaard being a deal that's close to being completed. Give me your thoughts on this news.
Mixed news. So mixed reviews. Sorry. I think Odegaard is a lot better than people give him credit for. As a chance creator, he's deadly. What we need from midfield is goals. So that is my concern with Odegaard. I felt Maddison offered more of that threat, especially in this league where he's proven that he's done that. I mean, he's not a prolific goal scorer, but he has scored and shown that he can score in big games in this league already. But look, this is where we are. Odegaard's a good player. Does he improve Arsenal Football Club? You would have to be crazy to say no. He does, will it be the more immediate improvement that we're looking for? Is this a player for like a year or two as he develops? That's a question that only next season will answer. However, whilst we look just at the record not being that major from January to summer when he joined, that the fact that he had that time to acclimatise to the league and will get a bit more of a pre-season now to bed in with players he's already played with, he's already trained with, I think could see him perform a lot better the second time round. With the Aubameyang situation, it's a bit mixed. I think, yeah, he fell off last season in a big way. He had a bad season by his standards. But let's not forget the top 5 probably European striker that he's been in the seasons previous to that. Top 5 or 6, I'm putting him in there all day long based on last season not happening. He was lethal and consistent. I think one thing that's changed more than his ability to score goals has been the managerial tactics, the setup, the team setup that hasn't really benefited him, but has benefited our defence. So we get lost in the source of we had the third best defensive record in the league. And a lot of people think defending is just about defenders and attacking is just about attackers. Well, no, if your midfield and your attackers aren't pressing and supporting you defensively, you're leaving your defenders in more one-on-one situations. Therefore, midfield and attack is important to defense. Defense and midfield is important to attack. How you build up your attack can depend on who you've got in defense that can play the ball out and who you've got in midfield that can play the ball forward. And I think a lot of his struggles have been due to the lack in those two areas. What defenders can take the ball out of the back and what midfielders can play the ball incisively forward to him in the best positions. So Coutinho would help this, but it wouldn't help him because he wouldn't be here, which is annoying. But Coutinho would be a massive uplift, like even above Maddison, in terms of your goal scoring chance creator in midfield. So it's 6 and 1 and dozen of the other, to be honest, with that story. Like,
yeah, what I find, look, everyone's gonna have a different view and opinion on it. I think with the Coutinho thing, I'm very intrigued to see him back in the Premier League because I feel like I want to make sure I say this in the right way. The best football we've ever seen from him was in the Premier League.
Facts.
It is, but I don't know. Is he had a bit of a? The jury's out on this guy, but is he gone for a bit of a, a Conor McGregor element where I'm not saying it's because he's become almost a billionaire, but has he almost lost the hunger to be that player that he used to be? He's gone away. He's made the money. He's been. I feel like he's been a bit part player for 2 or 3 years elsewhere. Like, has he got the guts and the determination now to try to become the star of a team again and the driving force in a team again. To be honest with you, I don't know. I legitimately don't know if I think that he's got that within him anymore.
And then the thing is as well, I think that's a great question, and that is the biggest question on, I guess, what would our chances be served better trying to take a risk on? Because it's a risk either way. If we keep Aubameyang and assume he's going to return to the Aubameyang of old next season, that's a risk. If we cash in on him, get Coutinho, it's a risk, but a different type of risk. And the other part of that risk is the fact that, as you said, he's been a bit part player for 2 or 3 seasons. So not only does that lead questions to his hunger, it's like if you've been training but not playing in matches consistently for not just 1 season but 2 or 3. Have you got it in you to come back to the most intense league physically in the world and suddenly just replicate what you were doing years ago when you were at the peak of your physical condition?
No, mate, I totally get you on that completely, mate. And look, it's going to be intriguing to see what Arsenal do. I need another midfielder to come in, though, because otherwise I've got to wear a Liverpool shirt for the next 5. At the end of the transfer window, after that, the next 5 Man United match reviews, and I've got to wear a Liverpool shirt if another midfielder doesn't come in. So fingers crossed, you guys do it. So I don't have to lose that bet. GunnerKing, top man. Speak to you again soon. Thanks, mate. All the best. Yeah, thank you. Keep those likes coming. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. We have passed 208,000 subscribers today, which is absolutely amazing. Next on the show, we're going to go to Lionheart Fitness to come on and have his say. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. How are you?
Oh, thanks. Are you all right? How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Remind everybody who you support, please.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't really have a team, like. I don't really
Oh,
have
no, remember, yeah, you said you're kind of neutral to it. What are you here to speak about?
Yeah,
what are you here to speak about today, bro?
No, the reason why I'm a neutral to football, but what it is that the reason why I'm an NBA fan is just I've been watching ever since I was a kid, and I had my uncle that used to live in America, blah, blah, blah. Long story short. So he used to make me watch games and stuff. So I would say, but I do like football in general, but I like the drama of it as well. But I'm listening to all the callers about the whole Mbappe situation, and I got a little theory. It might not be. I don't know if anyone watches the NBA on your platform or anything, but I feel like it's a good move for him, but do you also feel with the social media era as well, do you feel like Haaland is kind of waiting and Mbappe is kind of waiting, and they're probably went into each other's DMs? It's just a theory. Gone to each other's DMs and said, don't sign a new contract. Let's just wait a year and let's team up at Real Madrid or something. Because once Real Madrid get their finance together, they're going to go insane in the transfer market and probably get all the best players again once come out of COVID and all their finances all sorted. And and because of what they've seen Man City and Chelsea do, they might go berserk. Do you know what I mean? Because Real Madrid.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, respect about both Mbappe and Haaland. I see them both as very confident men who want to be the centerpiece of the team. So I don't know how they would get on both playing in a side where, like, competing against one another to be the top goal scorer, for being the main man, for being the centerpiece, the crown and jewel, as it were. I think so. I don't know about them playing. I've said this to a gal on the show. I don't know about them both playing in the same team. However, I can imagine both in the same league as an example. I almost feel like they want to go ahead. I think they feel like they want to go against each other head to head as who's the best player in the world. And I actually feel a little bit like Messi going to PSG is almost like the final nail in the coffin of him wanting to stay, because Neymar's got a new deal, so he starts and plays. You've then got these 3 inside forwards, like essentially that play wide of the center, like who fits in where to make the system work the best. I think now is the right time for him to go Real Madrid. I'm starting to get more of an inkling towards Haaland actually staying in Germany and maybe going to Bayern Munich.
I agree. Sorry, go on.
Go on, mate. Go on.
No, I agree with you, but just like I would say basketball, for example, like with whole the era of like super teams. Do you feel like that's starting to be a thing over here in football as well, where we're building super teams of Man City spending, thingy spending? And I think Real Madrid are like the Hollywood team, in it. I think they want to see themselves build another super team, sort of like Galacticos. And I think the president's probably thinking we can get Mbappe or get Haaland. Let's make another super team. Maybe, but I hear what you're saying, going to Bayern Munich as well.
So I don't know enough about the NBA, so I would never
Yeah.
embarrass myself by talking about it too much. But I suppose
Yeah,
my view would be, is it possible? Is that I don't know the right way of looking at it? Like, is it sort of possible to have, I don't even know who the best players are in the NBA, right? But whoever the Messi and the Neymar is, could you have a Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe all in one team in the NBA?
You can have like, sorry, go on. You can have like, for example, the Lakers just signed Russell Westbrook. So, but obviously basketball and football is different to where you can have a contract and have you could be a free agent. So basically, you sign a contract with a team. Yeah, so you can sign either. It depends. You can. It's difficult to explain, but you can have Supermax or 1 year option, basically, and then you can opt out of it. So where you have a contract, you sign it, but then you may say, you know what, I'm good. I'm too good for this team. I want to explore my options. So you be like, I want to opt out, and then you become a free agent, basically. And in basketball terms, you can do that, but then it's like, it goes into your salary tax.
No, I get that. What I meant more of is say you've got the best 3 basketball players in the world, and I don't know who they are. Could one team sign them all and that not be looked at as weird?
No, it definitely is. Like Kevin Durant went to Golden State, so everyone was like, "You're getting a cheap ring." But I would say with the massive salaries, it's difficult to get like a LeBron James
because of the cap. Right? Okay. That's what I was trying to ascertain, mate. Yeah.
But you can do it, but then you would have to devalue the other players. So you would have a lot of attack and maybe some defenders on cheap contracts, cheap wages, like 1 year.
Right. Yeah. No, I
hear you. The team wouldn't be balanced, but obviously, you know.
Fair enough. There we go. Yeah. I get that completely. Bro, listen, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate it, my guy. Thank you very much indeed. I want to pose that question to the audience. So can you see conceivably, and I have to ask those questions about basketball because I just don't watch it. I don't really watch the NFL. Don't have the time. So can you imagine a Haaland and an Mbappe in the same team? Can any of you conceivably see that happening? That's what I would love to know right now from you. Get that in the comment section. Phone in as well if you want to have your say. Mbappe to Real Madrid. Is that closing in? Martin Odegaard on his way. On his way to Arsenal. They're waiting to submit the official bid. And again, I might be adding 2 and 2 together here and getting 37. But a lot of talking this a few weeks back was around, letting the Ramoses and the Varans go was to make room and money to be able to buy Mbappe, first and foremost. We're then looking at the situation of Real Madrid waiting around what they should do with Odegaard. Is this a case of if they can get Mbappe, they then give the green light to Arsenal to put in their official bid to make that move happen? That 40-odd million pounds, again, more salary saved, all goes towards the purchase of Kylian Mbappe. Can you see it happening this summer? And what do you think is going to happen with the Aubameyang situation? Phone up and have your say. Super chat here says Haaland will probably follow his father's footsteps and join City in the near future. Well, look, if City don't get Harry Kane, that becomes a distinct possibility next summer. No doubt about that in my mind at all. But we do have some more breaking news for you here this afternoon, people. This could be great news for Chelsea and their pursuit of Jules Koundé and for West Ham fans. Jacob Steinberg here via the brilliant Simon and Phillips has said that West Ham have not given up on Kurt Zuma. Chelsea are asking for 25 million. His wage demands are high, though. And I've read this on a number of different publications this afternoon that West Ham are going to come in strong and they're going to come back in and come in harder for Kurt Zuma than before to try and get this deal done, to try and get this deal over the line, to make him a West Ham United player. Now, this is positive news, hugely positive news for Chelsea Football Club. They need this deal to go through. They need to get this deal done if they are to land Jules Koundé. It's always been the stumbling block, even when I really did shoot ahead of myself and say that the deal was complete. That's because the agent that I was dealing with that gave us that information truly believed that Kurt Zuma was going to move to one of the two clubs. He felt like that situation was actually more of a done deal and a closed situation than actually the Jules Koundé bit. He was so confident of it. That fell through. So now Chelsea have had to stall on their move for Jules Koundé. They are confident they can get this deal done. West Ham have now come back into the mix to try and take him away. Of course, we know Tammy Abraham is out the door. There are 2 or 3 loan moves and players there that Chelsea are looking to move on. So positive news there on the Jules Koundé front. And of course, for West Ham fans looking at bringing in a very talented Kurt Zouma to the mix. Next on the show, we're going to get a Tottenham fan on. Leith is back with us again. Leith, welcome back to the Terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Hi. Yeah, I wanted to speak on Kane, actually. I think that Daniel Levy has all the cards in his hands now because everyone is saying, and this is true, City, they need Kane to win the Champions League and the Premier League. And both of them are separate. They need Kane. And they are so desperate for Kane. So if he is worth a Premier League to them, surely we can ask for any price we want. We can ask for 200 million. Surely we can, right?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you can, but in reality, probably not. So there's got to be an upper limit. There will be that kind of gentleman's agreement between Kane and yourselves around, what would it take to get the deal done and over the line? What would Man City? It would be very unfair to everybody involved, and it wouldn't go down well to say, look, if they give us 150, we'll accept. If it's 150 with add-ons, we'll accept. And that comes in, and then they say, actually, 200 million now. Like, it's very unlikely. I mean, Liverpool, in fairness, Liverpool do that a lot when they're buying and selling. They get right to the 11th hour, and then they try and push the purchase price down or the sale price up. So it wouldn't surprise me, but I actually don't think he'll get more than 150 for him, even though they're saying 160. Really? I don't. I just don't. I think if this deal goes through, it will be about 120 to 130 base with the potential to rise to about 150, maybe to rise to 160, but that will be like a bonus add-on, and that would need Kane to be the top goal scorer, win a Champions League and Ballon. It will be like a really complex clause, I think.
I don't think Levy will never accept that. I don't think he will.
Why? How would he not?
Because he can get the same amount next year, and because he knows that City, he's worth a Premier League to them. If he's worth a Premier League to them, they need to pay. Every club does this. Every single club who wants to sell a player, they set the price 150 or more. You pay or you don't. It's the same when we got Romero. We spent almost a month negotiating for him, and at the end we had to pay the price. It's always like this.
Look, I don't know. I don't know. I think from my point of view, and when I say I don't know about that, I get everybody sort of says Levy won't budge. Levy won't budge. I don't know. I think he will a little bit. That's my little bet. That's my little bet with you, Leith. I don't know what we're going to bet. Maybe we'll do a little bit of money for charity or something. Like, on a real level, I kind of feel like legitimately, I feel like it won't be as low as 120, but it won't be as high as 160. I think sort of, as I said, 120 to 130 base, rising to about 150. I think the deal will get done. The reason I say that is because of all that talk of gentlemen's agreements. I think Charlie Kane had not have acted like a pleb. I think if they wouldn't have done that, what now is a stupid interview with Gary Neville, I think still could have been negotiated a little bit sooner. I think they've pissed Daniel Levy off. But Spurs are planning for his exit. They're planning for the exit by one, and I always butcher this guy's name, Vlahovic, him, and they are still negotiating for Lautaro Martinez. And the word out of Italy is very simple. Inter don't want to sell, but if they suddenly change their mind, they would. What that means in my interpretation is if someone bids 70+ million pounds, they're going to accept it. You're working on him moving on. There's no talk coming out that City, there hasn't been one story once that City are willing to spend 160, but 130s, 140s, 150s have been mentioned. That's why I think there's that, do you know what I mean? But there's that truth in the middle there somewhere with these deals. But do you think the deal's going to go through right now? What's your gut feeling telling you right this morning after all the excitement of this deal? What's going to happen, Leith?
I think he will go for 160.
Well, I'm going to say he's going to go.
They will pay that. They need him.
150. We're having a bet. We have a £20 bet. We're going to donate to charity if it happens, Leith. That's what we're going to do. £20 bet done. We're on that. You know what I mean? Honestly. So are you ready to give us a song today, though? Because I do think you look like Bruno Mars, and I want a little bit of Versace floor, please.
I can play instruments. I'm a musician, but I can't sing.
Next time you come on, I want what instruments do you play?
Piano and drums.
Piano. So does Bruno Mars. Right. So what I want you to do, right? I want on the pic. Have you got a piano you can play in that room, like a keyboard?
Yeah, I have one here.
So next time you come on, I want a little rendition of Versace on the floor. That's what I want from you, big man. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Quality. All right then, Bruno. I'll speak to you later on, my brother. See if that's your new name now, Bruno. I'll see you later on, mate. Take care. All the best. Love him. You know what I love the most about Leith is his name. Because it's Keith with an L. It's just brilliant. Honestly, I love it. Because his name gave me so much confusion when I first thought it being dyslexic. There we go. Man's going to give us, I like Versace on the floor. I'd love to be able to sing that to someone. If I sing, honestly, you don't hear me sing. Oh, the voice. Honestly, I sound like a cat having his bollocks chopped off with no anesthetic. It's terrible. You ever done that? I haven't. I'm talking about chopping a cat's bollocks off. I've never done that. Yeah, he does play the piano. He's a musician. My guy. Uptown Funk. See, Uptown Funk's cool, but you got to be able to dance for that. Can you dance to him? I can. I've got good moves, you know. I don't know why I'm talking about this stuff anymore. Who's coming on the show next on the show? Jess is going to be with us. Make sure you're smashing that like. I'm so intrigued to know what Jess has got to say about Coutinho maybe joining Arsenal as well. That's going to be interesting. Smash that like and that share button. Let's go, people. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Busy day today, but it's always good. Lots Arsenal just in the news every 5 minutes now. Odegaard deal closing in. They're just waiting for the green light to put in an official bid. But Aubameyang in a swap deal for Coutinho. What's your thoughts on that?
It's not really that shocking. The link was bound to come at some point. We all know that Edu is really good friends with Kia Jarapshin, and that's his agent. What I will say is that I wouldn't be surprised if this came to fruition just because of the way everything is kind of unfolding with Aubameyang. I mean, nobody can really sit here and say, I don't think any Arsenal fan can sit here and say that, like, even if the system was built to run Aubameyang, we'd be like 100% sure he would be banging in goals. I think his time has just run out. He usually, I think, stays at clubs for like 2-3 years, and then it kind of just falls off after that. We're kind of in that time frame right now. He probably just needs something new to do. And would you blame Aubameyang for wanting to leave? Probably not. A lot of people look at him, at the contract, and they're like, he's done something wrong. I think the club made a mistake giving him that contract. And it's not really like, if you sign a long-term deal with Arsenal and they promise you that they're going to bring in top players for you to play with, top players in Aubameyang's mind are probably prime age players, world-class or top-level players. And he got Gabriel, Willian, and Thomas Partey. That's really not enough to make him probably feel appreciated. And now the system is not even built around him anymore. It's actually detrimental to the way that he wants to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to move. Does Coutinho fit what we need? Probably off of the left-hand side, but I have kind of questions about his fitness. I know he's coming off of a long-term injury. I think his wages at this point are probably quite similar to Aubameyang's. If I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but he took a pay cut.
They were huge, over 400,000 a week.
Yeah, so we'd be taking on his wages, but we need another left winger type player. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, I think Edu has kind of like a level. You know, he can do smaller deals for like young players, get people to re-sign. But when it comes to bigger deals, he kind of messes them up. But he can do these little deals with his friends because, you know, they're friends. So I'm not shocked. You know, if it happens, it happens. But I do think it's time for Aubameyang to go. That being said, we still need to bring in a striker if we let him go, because Lacazette's not going to get us goals, is he?
No, that man is consistently in the friend zone, and yeah, look, I think getting rid of Aubameyang is good for everybody. I kind of believe a little bit these reports of a falling out with Arteta of some sort. I just do. It also doesn't strike me as strange. Arteta's relationship with the younger players, the hungrier players, seems to be a lot better than with the elder statesman across that team. That's kind of been a theme. So I'm making an assumption based on what we've seen before. So recouping that 300 to 350,000 pound a week is going to be very, very important. But it's about investing it right. And I kind of look at the Philippe Coutinho thing, and it feels like Edu might be doing Barca more of a favor than he's doing you, taking a player away on more money than Aubameyang. So like there's 100 to 150,000 pound a week that Barca are going to save. They're going to bring in a goal scorer because they're going to need goals after, of course, Messi's been leaving. And then they're giving you a player that just no one wants.
Is he finished? Do you think he's finished, Coutinho?
I think I said the GunnerKing earlier. I don't know if he can ever get back to. If he was a fighter, he'd be looked at as a fighter that's really inactive. Like hasn't been fighting, hasn't been at the highest competitive level. You know, hasn't been training with the right caliber of people and sparring with the right caliber. Even though he's been at Bayern Munich and won a damn treble, he was a bit part player, and that's always. It's a bit like with James Rodriguez last summer when he was being touted about. I thought both those players have been at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, and neither of those clubs wanted them. And if Barcelona, if Bayern Munich and Barcelona and Real Madrid, sorry, the difference there, don't want you after you spent a number of years there and you're still at prime age, there's something off. There's something wrong. Now, the difference is with Rafael Varane, he didn't want to stay. They offered him a new contract. Ramos at the end of his there are circumstances where it makes a little bit of sense. Messi's is a great example. Barca wanted to keep him, but very rarely do any of our major clubs want to sell somebody. You know, it just that it makes me concerned. So I don't know. I think with the amount, honestly, it might be hard because I would rather, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd rather the money be invested in. I'd rather take the risk on Hassan Aouar at £20 million transfer fee and exceedingly lower wages than I would Philippe Coutinho. I think that's where I would prefer the money to go. You know,
Edu can't do that though. I just think he has a level like this is as far as he can go. Young players and then older players that are unwanted with agent connections. That's all I've really seen from him since he's been here. I don't think he has the capacity to negotiate because I think for him, negotiating means trying to bully people into giving him their players for less. And you're not going to be able to do that with Lyon. We already had one whole transfer saga with them where Edu couldn't get that over the line. And obviously there was agent issues and stuff, but ultimately I just think he has a level and this is kind of it. It's not a surprise that we're linked to it, you know, Coutinho for Aubameyang, not a surprise to Liso, you know, for Bellerin. This is his level. Like, so this is what we would expect. Of course, if you want somebody that can play in that left wing position, yeah, you'd rather have Houssem Aouar, but we'll end up with Coutinho. That's just his level. So yeah, I agree with you. But one thing I will say is that when Coutinho went to Barcelona, although it was like this great deal and all this kind of stuff, and he really wanted to go, they couldn't figure out a way to get him in the team with Messi. And it's just poor planning from a Barcelona perspective. And then now they have payments that they still have to give to Liverpool at some point for a player that they can't figure out how to use and is now past his prime on huge wages. So I do think that he's still a good player and he still has value. Can he get up to a level where it's worth it for Arsenal in the Premier League? I don't know. You know, so it's inconclusive, but I do think all in all, we need to figure out a way to move on Aubameyang, you know, if it's not going to work out.
I hear you on that. The Coutinho thing is a genuine concern. And Barca, they've just made so many poor transfer mistakes in the last 5 to 6 years. And what's embarrassing about that, and I always talk about clubs that are run well versus clubs that are not. They have an advantage over Premier League teams where there really isn't many clubs that can pit into titles. Real Madrid and every now and then Atletico. It's as simple as that. But they're generally in a 2-horse race. So when they mess up, it never appears as bad as maybe a Premier League team that can go from being second to 5th or 6th in a particular season. But Coutinho's and Ousmane Dembele's, for one reason or another, Griezmann is legitimately a very good player, but £700,000 to £800,000 a week. But this was also the reason why Barcelona and Real Madrid have been pipping players from Premier League teams over the years, because they're just paying money that even the Man Cities and Chelseas are never going to pay a Griezmann that kind of money. But it's come to bite them in the backside now. It really has. Neil O'Callaghan here says, where is the LFC in for Mbappe transfer? where are LFC in the Mbappe transfer? There was a report that came out today, actually. There's a report from France that said, and I'll try and find it here because I did tweet about it earlier because I thought it was an intriguing piece of news. Here it is. So I'll put it up on the screen for you, mate. He said that Kylian Mbappe is. That isn't the news. That is the wrong one. I thought it was the right one. Where has it gone? I'll find it for you in just a second, young man, and stick it up on the screen. I tweet too much. Is this the one? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Nope, it's not. It's the wrong one again. Here it is. I have got it now. I've got it. So this one here said that this is from Alexa Bernard here, verified journalist out of France. He said that Liverpool are monitoring the Mbappe situation. Klopp has called him several times, and there is an excellent feeling between the two men. That's all that's really been said. Kind of excellent feeling and feelings. Whoa, feelings. That's all I've heard, my friend. Feelings. And I don't mean to laugh. I would be beyond shocked if Liverpool went in for him. You're still talking, it's got to be 120 million pound even now for him. Maybe not, though. Maybe with 1 year to go, or maybe I'm completely off with that. I just don't see it happening. I mean, what do you see happening with Mbappe, Jess?
Somehow ending up at Real Madrid, figuring out a way to get him over there. I just feels like it makes a lot of sense, unless Real Madrid can't figure out a way to spend the money or figure out how to pay. But they always figure out a way, don't they? Like, I don't really think that he would be great at Liverpool, obviously, but I just don't see how that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? But he would fit, but at the same time, I think he's kind of like destined to go to Real Madrid. I think they'll figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, a few people are saying in the comments and also on Twitter that they're in the same situation as Barca, so it isn't going to happen. I just feel, I don't know. I feel kind of I feel sort of meh about it, if that makes sense. Some interesting news here though from Alistair Gold, who says that the Lautaro Martinez deal I love the wording, at the moment seems to have fallen through. Why now and not 4 days ago? Why now and not a week ago? When, remember, it was Saturday, whatever Saturday was, the 8th. It would be less than the 8th, 7th, whatever it was, that they said, Saturday the 8th, 7th, sorry, where they said that Lukaku would sign for Chelsea. So why had it not fallen through then? It was literally 12 hours later they announced the deal had gone through. I would say to Spurs fans, don't panic about that. Let's wait and see whether you sell Kane or not before the Lautaro Martinez deal head stands above that precipice again. Do you know what I mean? It's an interesting one indeed to see if that's going to happen. But there we go. So, but I love that there at the moment. I love it. It's that I'm going to say it's dead, but I'm going to give. I've got like what's that thing called that brings you back to life? Defibrillator. It's like the defibrillator comment. It's there. It's ready to bring me back from the dead at any moment. We are going to bring Sarim and Igao on very, very soon to join us as well. But viewers, smash that like and share button. I did need to chat to you about something, though, Jess. You've been going like semi-viral today on Twitter, haven't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
You've been very rude about Liverpool, I've heard. Is that right?
That's how they feel. They feel like I've been probably disrespectful to their club, which I don't think I have been, but I have huge.
Yeah, you don't think you have been?
No, I don't. I think I made a prediction, which is just that, a prediction. And really, like, here's my thing with it's a prediction based on things that I feel like that can happen and have a high likelihood of happening. I didn't say that Liverpool out of the top maybe 5-6 teams is the worst. I didn't say that. I actually think they have a really good first 11 / maybe first 13, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like there was a glaring issue in terms of their squad depth last season that hasn't been addressed. And you can't tell me that fixture congestion is not still an issue and they just haven't solved it. And some of the injuries that some of their players have gotten, I can't say that, like, I don't see maybe them having some setbacks. That doesn't mean that on paper, Liverpool is not a good team. The game is not played on paper. Like, we know this. If you've been watching the Premier League forever, you know that things don't always shake out the way that you think they're going to. So Liverpool can turn around and win the league. I just see a likelihood of things happening that could potentially stop them from making the top 4. And when I say that, I don't say that like they're going to be way down there. The difference is probably like a point or so. It's not like, let's just keep it real. Like last season, yes, got into, top 3, but like a lot of that was based on certain people sliding, Leicester in particular. And Leicester, I think, have addressed their squad issues. Like they've made sure that they brought in a striker and a central midfielder. So if key players get injured, they don't have drop off. So that's just my opinion. Like it's really not about Liverpool not being good. Like, that's not even what I said.
And they even reacted, like Leicester even reacted quickly to Fofana. They went and got Vestergaard, who's very good. So like their approach has been brilliant. One of the best quote tweets was when somebody basically why, I don't know, I quite get the wording right, is why is this woman why is this woman acting like she can tell the future? And I thought to myself,
that's what a prediction is.
Yeah, I was so shook. I was like, what? And at the same time, I responded to the guy. I was like, so what do you think is going to happen this season? And he said, I think we're going to win the league. I said, how can you tell the future? He blocked me. I was like, bro, I don't try to get...
One thing I just want to say.
Let's just take a quick look. Let's just take a quick look at the clip. Let's take a quick look at the clip.
Make the top 4. I think Liverpool misses out. I have huge questions about, well, they haven't really done anything in the transfer window. I know Konate is a good player, but y'all got injury issues. Like, I still think that even though the players are coming back, recovering from injuries is not linear. All you need is a couple of those players, a Van Dijk to get re-injured, a Jordan Henderson, or whatever, because you're still dealing with the exact same group of players in a very skeleton-like squad. So for me, I don't think Liverpool is freshened up enough. I think they're quite stale. And then with the reoccurring injuries that I foresee happening anyway, I think they just miss out on it.
Cal, I need to get your take on that as a Liverpool fan. Can you conceivably see Liverpool missing out on the top 4?
So no, I can't. But I'm also not going to sit here and say that Jess is talking rubbish. I actually get where Jess is coming from.
Do you know what was very, very interesting with that as well? Also a lot of comments where they were saying, how dare the host not challenge? I'm like, well, my job isn't to so much challenge on those shows. That's what the panel's there for. I went straight to a Liverpool fan. Cal is one of the most respected Liverpool fans on socials. And the only thing he really disagreed with is that he thinks they'll make top 4. But he agreed with all your rationale. And that's what I've loved about this last few days. Like, some of the responses have been like, how can you tell the future? Do you have a crystal ball? I've been shocked, really. But you know what?
I just want to ask Liverpool fans really quickly, if you're so freaking confident in what you have, why do you care what I think? Why do you care so much? Like, if you think I'm wrong, then why be all in my DMs telling me to stay in the kitchen? Why are you guys so upset? Like, don't worry about what I'm saying if you're super, super confident in what you got. But maybe the reaction is more about your insecurities about what you know is actually there than me being the Arsenal fan talking about your beloved club. I'm just saying,
Jess has had a say there. We're going to bring in Sarim and the gal for the final part of our show. Make sure you stay with us. Make sure you've hit that like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace today. But share this across your social media platforms. And all my days, I've just been sent a video, and I'm so tempted to share it on screen.
What kind of video?
I don't do YouTube beef, so I'm not going to put it out there. But all I want to say is a certain message to a certain other YouTuber. My friend, listen, if you want to talk, if you need a hug, if you want some love, I'm always here for it. I'm not going to beef with you. I'm not going to say anything nasty about you. Your channel is amazing. You're a fantastic YouTuber, and good times will come for you in the future. But just drop the bitterness, my friend, because it is very, very unhealthy. And we're not going to get into a row. I'm not going to mention your name, but my friend, you're wrong in everything you say. I don't dislike you for it. I'm always here for you if you need any help. Big up yourself, my friend. But by God,
Terry.
How you all doing? Welcome back. Igal there. Welcome back to the Football Terrace, guys. Igal, I need to come to you first of all. I need to chat to you about this, though, because we're getting a bit of feedback from someone.
Sorry, that was my kitchen.
No, I'm getting feedback from your phone. Yeah, I want to ask you, what's your take on Aubameyang for Coutinho, the swap deal?
It's not gonna happen, man. Terry, we know it's not gonna happen. It's a pipe dream. They're trying to get rid of Coutinho. We don't want Coutinho personally as a fan base, and I don't see Coutinho as the solution to all our problems. And I don't think the club will either. Knowing that the wages that he's on currently at Barcelona, even if we did a straight swap, we would hinder ourselves again for the future. Bringing him on, giving him maybe at least a 2 to 3 year deal, we're gonna hinder ourselves again. And Aubameyang, at his age, he might not be the best player. He might not be the best teammate or whatever. He might not have the best attitude, but at the moment, he is still one of our best goal scorers. He still, on his day, could produce more goals for us and just more overall. And with a young team growing, it makes sense to keep Aubameyang over getting in a Coutinho, in my opinion. It just doesn't make sense. I'd rather the club use that money and those wages and the space in the cap, not cap, in the space in the squad to get somebody younger that has more scope to grow.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you, but like I want to ask Sarim this. Sarim's obviously a Liverpool fan looking from the outside in. What do you make of the sort of transfer business that that Arsenal were looking at here?
In terms of the Aubameyang to Coutinho one?
Yeah.
I genuinely don't understand it. Like, I was listening to someone saying about it's Edu's agent, who's also Coutinho's agent, and that's why he's making the deal. That doesn't sound right. I don't get how he's not sacked. Like, could someone explain to me how is he not sacked? Like, all he's been doing is getting all his agents, players to sign for the club and going, yeah, that'll do. But half of them being dogged. Like, I don't get it. Like, someone needs to really wake up and just go, listen, this guy needs getting rid of. Like, Coutinho's not the answer. I think Aubameyang needs to be pushed on, but swapping one for the other is just nonsensical, in my opinion. Like, that's not the player you need at the moment.
Mate, we tried to do that. I heard we were linked to what's his name, Campos, who's at Lille. When he became available this summer, we were linked to him, and it seems like we were trying to get someone who's senior to Edu, but it makes no sense. When we got rid of Raul, at that moment we should have got rid of Edu also, because Raul brought in Edu. And at this point, I've lost complete faith in Edu because this window has been complete lies. He's told us that we're gonna get 13 deals done, spending. They've said that they had this whole thing planned out from January. January transfer window closed. Immediately in February, we heard rumors that they have everything planned out. Torreira was supposed to be leaving. Xhaka was supposed to be leaving. Bellerin was supposed to be leaving. Now, subsequently, none of those players have left. Out of those 3 players that I've named, we still haven't gotten our 4th deal done, and it's been over 2 months since we've been told that we're working currently on the 4th deal. And Terry, you've said it yourself numerous times that we're going to get a midfielder in this window besides Lokonga. Now that Xhaka's left, even the people who've been saying it all summer have to now say we're not going to get another midfielder in. Besides, if we squeak a central attacking midfielder somehow near the end of the window.
My bet's going to be fine because Odegaard, someone's coming. So I am not wearing the Liverpool kit. Like, I'm going to win that bet. But we have some breaking news that I do have to go to very quickly. Fabrizio Romano has quoted some words here from Lautaro Martinez's agent. He says Lautaro wants to stay at Inter. He trusts the project and wants to win. I'll meet the Inter board on Wednesday to talk about his contract situation. Premier League clubs wanted him, but he's ready to stay, is what's being said here. And look, we'll take those words at face value. I'll give that a little retweet as well for a man like Fabulous. I'll give it a little like as well. These are not Fabrizio's words. Fabrizio's words. These are the agent of Lautaro Martinez. But I'll stand by what I've said many, many times when it comes to this situation. Proof is in the pudding. Proof's in the pudding when it comes to this. Let's see what happens by the end of the window. Like, literally, the same agent said this about Hakimi. I remember, like, that's why Lukaku, all these murals have been defaced because the fans like, you said you wanted to stay. I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. Maybe that's just me, but I don't trust it at all.
Perry, I don't want him anymore. Lautaro Martinez, personally.
Hang on a minute. So you've lost out on Tammy. You don't want Lautaro. Who do you want up front then that's achievable?
Personally, I would go to Florentino and try to get Vlahovic because I feel like he's a more well-rounded striker that would fit our system, and he's of the age, and he's also coming and he's making a step up in his career from Florentino to Arsenal, which a team that doesn't have Champions League football, doesn't have European football, if I'm not mistaken, and it would actually be a step forward in his career. Where Lautaro Martinez, a lot of people would say he's making a step backwards or a sideways step currently, and I want players with the scope to grow and the hunger and desire to reach the top level.
I mean, Lautaro Martinez has the hunger to reach the top level. It's going to be an interesting one. Imagine I'll ask you this question, Jess. If it's you, actually, I'm going to go to Rim on this one, neutral. Spurs versus Arsenal for Vlahovic. I can't say his name right. I'm really sorry. I butcher it. Literally, my brain tells him what to say, and my mouth says something different. Who's winning that fight in your opinion?
Oh, that's a tough one. Because I think Tottenham's a better team at the moment, but then Arsenal's the name. So I think it depends what you want. Like, if you want to be competitive now, then it's Tottenham. But then Arsenal, you kind of got, if you kind of be the guy who gets them into the top four, then you'll be hailed as a hero. And then if they're still crap, then you can just kind of push on as a stepping stone club into somewhere bigger and better. No offense, not in a rude way or anything, but I think.
I hear you on that. Yeah, no, I think you make sense there. You know, Spurs are in a better position, but Arsenal are the name. I also wanted to ask you, Surim, about Jess's comments about Liverpool, because you're a friend of the channel, member of the channel. Like, did you think there's anything that Jess said that was like outrageous? Like, because it's had an outrageous response on socials. Like, people, like certain Liverpool fans, big Liverpool fans with big accounts that have never interacted with the terrace before, have been, very politely talking about it. I'd love to get your opinion on what Jess said.
Yeah, I think it's just because she's a woman and she said it. If it was a guy who said it, it would have been a different story, in my opinion. She said nothing wrong. Like, I was listening to her and she went, she's not going to get top four. I was like, wait, what? And then she explained it. I was like, yeah, she got a point. Okay, I can live with that. Fine. I don't mind, really. It's not even that deep. Like, do you get what I mean? If we don't get top four, it's our fault. Like, it's no one else's fault but ours. Like, we literally... Sorry, go on.
Do you know what I think? Sorry, mate. Do you know what I think it was? Jess has pulled on the one thing that I know Liverpool fans are worried about. And the fact that loads of Liverpool fans on socials are all giving the same generic answer of, this squad won the league 2 years ago. If we don't have the injury... One guy actually said to me today in his response, if we don't get the injuries, we'll be fine. I said, did you not listen to what Jess just said? She thinks you're going to get the injuries, thus miss out. Yeah, but what if we don't get the injuries? Then Jess would say you might probably make top four. That's me assuming, but you don't need Jess to say that because it's obvious in the comments. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm defending Jess a lot here, but I was incensed today. I was incensed.
If all our players, like, are basically, we've got like 13, 14 players that start the game. So I don't count Navigator, Oxlade, Chamberlain as players. They're terrible and they're so injury prone. It's ridiculous. But if we somehow manage to go through the season with all our players fit and healthy and no injuries, they're on steroids. Like, they need checking. There is not a chance in hell that you're going through a season without injuries. Every single club will pick up an injury or two. There might be long-term ones, they're most likely short-term, but there's no chance we're not going through the season without injuries. And the most important thing is African Cup of Nations. It's in January. We're missing our two big goal scorers for about 3 games, maybe minimum, 4 weeks. How are we going to cope with Shaqiri and Origi coming off the bench and Minamino and Firmino to score goals? Could someone explain that to me? That's my biggest worry about this season. And people keep telling me, yeah, we're going to be fine. No, you're not. You've got 2 20-goal a season strikers leaving in January. How are we going to replace that for a month?
Listen, I think everyone knows it. I think that's why there's some frustration out there. But the one thing I respect about a lot of Liverpool fans is they don't like to publicly talk negatively about their club. I mean, the fact that you're announcing all these new signings when the re-signings of contracts during the transfer window, again, I just think it's PR. It's how do we take the attention away from the fact we're not bringing anybody in, right? By the way, I still think you might land some people. I still think you might get some work done in the next 2 weeks. Of course, transfer deadline day live on the Football Terrace. Make sure you're only
I don't think we will, if I'm being honest.
Oh. You don't think you'll be in?
No, because Jurgen Klopp.
What about Mbappe?
If Mbappe joins Liverpool, I will wear a United top for a month. From September the 1st all the way to the 30th, I'll wear one. You can record this.
I am.
I can see. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course it is. It's on fucking YouTube. Sorry.
I hear you on that. The oldest man here says this channel's talking like Liverpool, the only team that can get injuries. Well, no, we're not.
No.
Go on, Jess.
No.
Jess can say this. I'm not going to put. You speak up, Jess.
I
Your
thought
opinion.
about this as well. I know everybody's going to have injuries. My thing was when you if you were to get injuries to your first 11, who is coming in after them? What is the quality of those players? Are those players going to help you get top 4? The Liverpool fan, like the one that's on here with us, has literally just said that it's like Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain. These people, can you count on them? When I look at somebody like, look at Man City or Chelsea, that next layer after their first 11 get injured are still almost at the same quality. So that's what I'm saying. I get that everybody's going to get injuries, but that next level for you guys really isn't the same.
And that is the point. And I think that everybody kind of thinks, go on, Miguel.
I was just going to say, if any other club, Chelsea, Manchester United, or Arsenal, were having the similar transfer window that Liverpool are currently on, they would be losing their mind. Let's be real. Chelsea, they just won the Champions League, and if they only got one player in, and they still don't get a defender or midfielder, they're going to be demanding more. Manchester United, when they got Sancho, they were excited about Sancho, but you still wanted more. You got Varane now. I'm still hearing United fans saying they still want more. Where it comes from Liverpool, it's almost like they're content with the situation and they understand that they're not going to get anything. And it's almost like they don't want to get angry over the transfer window because they already expect to not to get anybody else.
What the problem is a lot of like the media people, well, all the journalists keep saying that we have to sell our best players to buy. And that's the biggest problem. We don't. We've got a bench full of players that we can get rid of and replace with, I'm not saying top brass players, but better than what they are at the moment in time. Like, Naby Keita has not started more than 10 games in the Prem in the last 2 seasons. That's not good enough.
We had
with Gini Wijnaldum literally starts 30 games a season. He's gone for free. He's earning less than Keita. What the fuck? Honestly.
You know what's mad about it? I had a Liverpool fan come on today. I respect Ramel. And he said something which I think he's picked up from like other Liverpool platforms, where he said, I think this season will be the season that Naby Keita and the Ox don't get injured. And my response was just based on what?
Not a chance.
Like,
not a chance.
He said, they've spent the whole summer living in an oxygen chamber and scientific breakthroughs have happened. Oh, hello, puppy. I'd say maybe. We do have some more breaking news that we've got to go to here, people. Big breaking news. Gargantuan, in fact. It is reported that Cristiano Ronaldo to PSG will be accepted if Mbappe goes. That is the news that has come out this afternoon, just now. If Madrid submit a bid around 120 million, which is what I sort of said a little while ago, it could be, PSG will accept and look to sign Ronaldo. Could we see Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi at the same team? Could we see that? This journalist himself here, up-and-coming young journalist, will be on the football terrace potentially tonight. We've been talking for a few days, looking like he's going to come on. But Jess, what's your take on that news?
Wow, interesting. I mean, I feel like most football fans would want to see that. Yeah, that's crazy. I would love to see it. It feels like something that can happen. Cristiano Ronaldo is totally disillusioned with being at Juventus, isn't he? So if that were to happen, I think we're all watching Ligue 1. Like, you know what I mean? We were already going to watch it for Messi, definitely watch for Ronaldo. But can you see them in the same team? Do you see that?
Do you know what? I mean, I've often said about having 2 egomaniacs in the same team together, but maybe as they come to the end of their career, that's more doable. I mean, I just put out there this tweet came after Z's, who's coming on the channel. This is from, I can't read the name because it's in Arabic, I believe, and I can't read Arabic. But this person is, got a lot of followers. He must know something, and he's put this out. He's got a lot of traction, so maybe I don't know who he is, but he talks about some exclusive and powerful information about Cristiano Ronaldo. Z, that I mentioned already, someone I've been talking to for a while, very well connected individual. But yeah, I mean, let's see what happens with this in the coming. I mean, Messi going PSG was massive, but Mbappe to leave and Ronaldo to come in, Sarim, from your point of view, that would be gargantuan, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting PSG season tickets if that happens. That would be amazing. Like I can't wait to see like the war between Ronaldo and Messi fans. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, they're always bitching every single day.
Bro,
Like, what are they gonna bitch about now?
do you know what'd be mad? This is what it would be like. We watch the brand new Avengers movie comes out. We all sit down, we're watching it, and it's like, oh wow, look, you know, some of the originals come back, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. It's the best Avengers. I'm over Tony Stark, and then suddenly out of nowhere, Superman turns up. That's what this would be like. Like, this is DC and Marvel combining. This is, do you get what I mean? This is like beyond ridiculous. Like, Messi and Ronaldo shouldn't be in this. I did it once. I cheated on a computer game on Football Manager, and I got them both into the same team. And I think something was written into the computer game because one of them was always injured. It was almost like if you finesse it and get them into the same team, we're not going to let you play properly with them. So I don't even know if it's legal. I don't even know if the universe will allow this deal to go through. And what we will see is we will then suddenly, everyone will then realize that Ronaldo is better than Messi as well. He will win that debate. He'll prove it 100%. No, he won't. He's too old now. It's come too late. But, oh, can you imagine? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know what's more exciting. That happening or J.K. Rowling tweeting today saying there's a new Harry Potter book coming out, like proper Harry Potter and all that. One of those two things would get me very, very excited indeed. Proper excited. I love getting excited. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Please subscribe to The Terrace. Smash that like button. Hit the share button. We're back later tonight with more for you. Big Lautaro Martinez news to now go and delve into. I'm busy now. I was going to go to the gym. I can't now. I've got to get on the phone straight away to get you as much information. Oh, hang on. Who's just turned up here out of the blue? This guy barely turns up anymore. I don't know what he's been getting up to. Hello, mate.
Yo.
What is this? You're so late.
So like, nah, I'm been lurking, bro. Don't worry about me. I'm just doing my thing, fam.
You're lurking. I hear you, bro. But look, I've got to end the show. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.